Yesterday I took you on a tour of the cadet camp at Four Wing Cold Lake. I was able to share with you the kinds of things that these young kids are learning here and the experiences that they will gain while spending their summers in the bush. Well, now it's my turn. The instructors took me out to my site where they had already had everything set up for me. But with all that in place, I still had a lot to learn.
Well, the warrant officers are going to go through survival psychology with you. A few of the things you're going to probably experience will be loneliness. Another one, most assuredly, is going to be boredom.
The officers took me around my site, showing me my shelter and my signal fire, along with the snare they had set up for catching small animals. And this is something standard that you guys would build and use if you were stuck somewhere, right?
Yeah, if you were in an actual survival situation, you would stay in something like this.
Along with the instructors, many of the young cadets that I talked to throughout the course of the day had advice for me as well.
First thing would be your shelter and fire. I think for me, those are my two main ones.
Bugs, for sure, but they tend to go away once you have the fire going. And just, you gotta eat food if you can.
We put kids in very novel situations, very stressful situations, and we give them the bare minimum of resources, and then we expect them to come together as a team and work through it.
Sergeant Callow then explained to me why having a fire is so important.
At nighttime, it's going to keep you warm. As we demonstrated with the firewall, it'll reflect heat back into your lean-to. Also, it will, sometimes you might only have one match or one way to start the fire, one chance to do it. If you let that fire go out, you have to resort to more desperate measures.
I was also given a lesson in the psychology of survival.
If you panic or you get a loss of hope for survival, it will defeat you, and you'll lose your will to survive. You'll lose your want to be out here.
Now, the instructors here were kind enough to help me start my fire and build my shelter for me before I got here. But one of the biggest things that I'm going to be faced with tonight is boredom.
Boredom is one of the enemies of survival that you have to deal with all the time, because you're sitting there, it's raining out, you can't leave your shelter, you don't have a deck of cards or a Game Boy, so you really have to kind of make entertainment for yourself.
When morning came, I found that my fire was out and that I was starting to get hungry. Luckily, the instructors were coming to pick me up to take me back to the base camp. The situation that I was left in was pretty controlled, but it's easy to see how the skills taught at this camp could save a life in a sticky situation, and how the life lessons will transfer to day-to-day life for these young cadets. If you want more information on the cadet program, visit cadets.ca. Daniel Berry, Newcap News.